The Belgian Grand Prix weekend was dominated by two things: rain and Max Verstappen. Nothing new there then. The sprint was one thing, but let's focus on the Grand Prix on Sunday. Max put his car on pole position, at least until his 5-place grid penalty for a new gearbox was applied, forcing him to start in 6th. I honestly thought he would be through the pack in a matter of 3 or 4 laps. But after dispatching of Piastri, who sadly got into a bit of trouble in turn 1, Max was stuck behind Hamilton and Leclerc, who were in a bit of a DRS train for a few laps. But he eventually moved past them both fairly easily, before dispatching of his teammate Perez, and ending up, well, over a pit stop ahead. Absolutely dominant. There is no way Perez can be happy with that. Ferrari, on the other hand, will probably be pretty happy, at least with Charles Leclerc's race pace. He had enough in hand to hold off Lewis Hamilton, and while he didn't have the pace of the Red Bulls, no car does, they seem to at least be back fighting at the front. Sainz, on the other hand, well, he damaged his car into turn 1 when he came together with Oscar Piastri. I haven't changed my mind on this one, and I still stand by what I thought when I first saw it. It was predominantly Carlos Sainz who was to blame, but ultimately, it's a lap 1 racing incident. Sad for both drivers to eventually retire, but still a racing incident. If you watch the onboards, Piastri has so much space on the inside, and he's just going to break into it and work his way around turn 1. Sainz, on the other hand, is on the left-hand side of the track as he looks at it and is right behind Hamilton. He locks a brake though, and to avoid hitting Hamilton, he moves over to the right into the space Piastri's in. This turns into somewhat of a 3 wide into turn 1, and Piastri squeezed into the wall and breaks his suspension. From some angles, you could be forgiven for thinking Piastri has sent it down the inside, but you can see that Sainz comes across into the space and Piastri has nowhere to go, and he can't quite back out in time. As it's turn 1, I'd still put it down as a racing incident, but it was a shame to hear Sainz publicly blaming Piastri. Pretty poor showing if you ask me. We also have to talk about the other McLaren driver, Lando Norris. He was down in 17th at one point, going nowhere but backwards, that McLaren getting eaten alive on the straights with its barn door rear wing. But he fought back, especially later in the race on fresh tyres, to finish in 7th, going absurdly long on his final stint. He was absolutely my driver of the day to get that car into 7th. George Russell also had a quiet but excellent race to bring his Mercedes back into 6th place, also going long on the tyres. And shout out to Yuki Tsunoda as well. He had a very eventful race, spinning at one point into the bus stop chicane, but ultimately rounding out the top 10. Lots of very good battles in the midfield, and Fernando Alonso will be happy that Aston Martin had a bit of a better showing as well. Red Bull go into the summer break having won 13 races in a row and 12 in the same season. Another new record. Max continues to be on incredible form, and I don't think he's even had to go flat out just yet. We now have a month to go without Formula 1, but when we get back, it's Zandvoort. Only the home race of Max Verstappen. I don't see him taking his foot off the pedal there, do you? Thanks for watching as always. If you did enjoy the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.